What's going on? I'm gonna wait for a few people to hop on real quick and we'll get started. We got one person. Let me know as y'all come into this live chat. Let me know where y'all were tuning in from. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. And then also let me know what is your biggest pain point when it comes to your personal finances, if you would, please, down in the chat. I actually got on earlier and talked to some folks, but the crazy thing was everybody was at work. And I was like, I'm crazy. I'm posting at noon on a Monday on East Coast time. Everybody's at work. It's like 9 a.m. on the West Coast. So I didn't plan that one through. So right now I'm just on again. So as y'all stroll in, if y'all would just in the comments, let me know where you're tuning in from. Curious. Cali, okay. Chris, welcome back. Cali. Good, good, good. That's not too far from where I'm at, to be honest with you. All right, as everybody starts showing in, I'm just going to give this quick financial disclaimer. This is not financial advice. This is for educational and informational purposes only and should be treated as such. I don't want any confusion on that piece of it, but I just want to sit down and speak with everybody on this live video. It's weird saying that because I never go live, which I should explain myself. I decided that I would go live on this channel because at the beginning of the year, I promised myself that in year 2024, I would be going live on YouTube, and I waited to the absolute end of the year to start doing that. Better late than never. But if y'all were curious as to why I'm actually going live now, that's why I'm doing it. So make sure y'all like this video and share this video and engage with me in the chat so I can help you as much as possible. So if you have any financial pain points, if you have any questions, I want you to leave them down in the chat. And I'm just going to carry on with the overall content of this video. And as people continue to stroll in, I'm just going to, address any questions or comments or concerns that may come my way. If that sounds cool to you, leave a thumbs up in the chat. I'm about to go ahead and get started. So the live that I put on earlier, one moment, Chris said I ordered an hour consultation but didn't get an email yet and had no openings on the calendar for November or December. Chris, email me after this live goes off and I will get with you immediately and we'll get something booked for you. That sound cool? All right, perfect. Make sure you don't forget. I will get with you immediately after this live goes off. But anyway, since everyone is no longer at work and we're at the end of the day on a Monday, I want to talk to you all about financial stability because that's the first piece of wealth building. And I was on earlier and I was just talking about building wealth and building your first six figures. That's the premise of my whole channel. That's why I created the Wealth Journey series. That's why I put my own net worth out there, and that's why I share my own financial updates and things like that, just to give you a real transparent, clear picture of what's going on in my life financially, what mistakes I'm making, and what wins I'm having. Because I want y'all to see that personal finance and that journey, the wealth journey, is a very real thing for everybody, and everybody is on their own individual path. And so today, well, this evening, I should say, I want to just go over what it looks like getting started. I created this whole principle. It's called the gains principle. And I built that idea off of the fact that I just love working out and building muscle. But there's a real meaning to it. It's actually the 5 phases of wealth, GAINS. So we're only going to go over 2 today because I don't have 5 hours to be on this live with y'all. But I want to spend quite a bit of time with y'all tonight, if that's okay with y'all. So if you're just coming in, make sure you like the video, share the video, engage with me in the comments. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Y'all can feel free to drop questions in the comments throughout this entire live. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable than I was earlier today. It was very nerve-wracking to get on this thing, but now that I've done it for like over an hour, I feel a lot more comfortable being on live and everything like that. So anyway, I want to jump into my principle called the gains principle. It is called the 5 phases of wealth, and it's broken down into gains. So getting started is the first letter, which is letter G. And that's for anybody who's saving their first $5,000, moving out of their parents' house, finding a full-time job for the first time, and just getting set up, getting your 401k set up, and just trying to get yourself into a better position. That is what G is all about. And your values are going to be things like independence, self-improvement, making more money, and things like that. And you're going to need some skills in order to be in that category. You're going to need patience, discipline. You're going to need to be able to research, and you're going to need to be able to put together an action plan for yourself. So let me know something in the chat. Would you say that you're in the getting started category, or would you say you're probably a little further along than that? Because based off of your feedback and your answer to this question, that's going to let me know, you know what I'm saying, how I can help you the best. So if y'all would let me know in the chat where we're looking, also let me know where you're tuning in from. We got one that's tuning in from Cali, which is pretty dope. That's just cool. It blows my mind that I have people from like UK, I have people from all over America, I have people from Africa tuning in. Like that's just the coolest thing to me. So yeah, let me know where y'all are tuning in from, and let me know what I can help you with on this fine evening. Otherwise, I'm gonna just keep on going because I can honestly go all day, and the comments will come. So when they do, I'll just stop and I'll address whatever comments or questions that y'all may have for me. But anyway, adulting is the next letter in the gains principle, and that is the A. What's going on, single parent fire? How you doing today? Appreciate you joining in today. Where you calling in from? While I'm waiting on that comment, adulting is where you're trying to get your life together. So you remember back to getting started, that's where you're literally just trying to get yourself set up for success. But adulting, that's where you're talking about getting your life together, becoming, you know what I'm saying, financially stable, paying down debt, saving money, building an emergency fund, and contributing to your retirement account. That's what your priorities would be if you were in the adulting. Calling in from NYC, that is what's up. What is going on? I hope you're having a good evening. And if y'all have any questions about personal finances, let me know down in the chat. I will be addressing those as we go. That snowball about 2,600, that trying to save. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we're all on our own individual journey. So if you have debt, if you have savings goals and things like that, the whole purpose of this live is for me to tell you in real time what you're perfectly capable of doing and how I can help you get there. Got to 1K first. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So anyway, the values that you're going to have if you're in the A, like the adulting portion of it, is going to be stability, security, comfort, and relief. Those are going to be your values. The skills you're going to need in order to reach these goals is planning, 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 control, like controlling yourself from, you know, crazy buying habits. If you're just getting onto this live, make sure you like this video and share. I want to get as much attention to this video as possible. Usually I don't do lives on Monday. Usually I do my, you know, typical video, excuse me, but I want to help you all in a different way this time. And I just kind of got a wild hair to go live on YouTube. And it was a very nerve-wracking thing for me to do, but now I'm doing it and it feels pretty natural. So I'm just going to keep going. And as you know, my YouTube career is prolonged, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to get better. But anyway, does it sound like you're in the adulting category, or does it sound like you're in the getting started category? Let me know in the chat, because you know some of us don't even know where we're at on this game scale. And just to break every letter down for you, G is getting started, A is adulting, I is investing wisely, N is net worth accumulation, and S is succession. We're only going over G and A today just because we're talking about getting started with your wealth journey and building wealth for the first time. I want to talk to the people who are in the category of getting started or they're adulting, because those are the ones that have the biggest hump to go through before they hit their first 100K in net worth. And the reason 100K is so important to hit in net worth is because once you hit your first 100K, especially if it's heavily invested, then it's going to grow so much quicker than when you first had to grow into your first 100K versus like little by little. But once you hit the 100, now you're seeing bigger leaps and bigger jumps. I'm going to stop and address a few comments real quick. Adulting, but it's tight. LOL. Adulting. I feel that. Most of y'all watching my channel, from what I find, y'all are between the ages of, you know what I'm saying, 25 to 35. So most of y'all are going to be in the adulting category. But we do have one that is getting started, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. What's up, everything? That's Peggy Nikki Smith. I appreciate you joining in. Let me know where y'all are calling in from. We're going to get this little live. Make sure y'all keep liking this video and sharing this video. Got 7 people in the chat at the time, only got 2 likes. Let's get the likes up. But anyway, whether you're getting started or whether you're adulting, that's okay, because I specialize in helping people that are my age, you know what I'm saying, and younger. So we're talking between the ages of 18 and 35. I'm 29, so that is my age range of expertise. I would say I feel like I relate to y'all the most, and I've been through a lot of the same struggles that y'all have been through. So when I was getting started, like, I didn't really know that I was getting started. And when I started adulting, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing when it came to adulting. Oh, you're calling in from Raleigh, NC. I'm not far from you at all. Right now, I'm in Greensboro, NC, visiting family. What's up to you? See, that's crazy. Small world. But the thing is, it's good that y'all can identify where you are on the gain scale and where you are on your personal finance journey, because honestly, that's half the battle. Some of us feel like just because we have full-time jobs or just because we're making a good salary that we're in a certain respective category. But in reality, we have to be able to sit back and assess where it is that we are. And the biggest mistake I made, whether I was getting started or whether I was adulting, I was trying to figure stuff out on my own. How many of y'all have tried to do something ridiculously hard on your own? Go ahead and raise your hands in the comments if you have been by yourself trying to figure some things out, trying to figure your personal finances out, trying to figure out how to save money, how to build your emergency fund, how to invest, how to grow your money, how to make more money. Let me know if you've tried to do those things by yourself, and let me know what the outcome of that was, because the outcome for me, it wasn't very great. Like, it was just more of the same, more of trying to figure out, going into a different rabbit hole on Tuesday than I did on Monday, trying to figure out, okay, how do I save more money? And how do I become financially free? How do I become financially independent? We don't have to do this thing by ourselves. So if y'all look all the way up to the top of the chat, I did leave a link to all of my products and all of my different links that I feel that can help you out the most. But at the very, very top, there's this group. I've been having this idea for a while. So I created this group called Wealth Journey Collective. And as you know, my whole brand is the Wealth Journey, but the Wealth Journey Collective is a group of like-minded individuals who are getting started, who are adulting, who are investing wisely, who are in every aspect and every level of the gains principle, but they're all there to help each other. They're all there to share their wins and talk about what they're investing in and talk about what mistakes they made and talk about, giving advice and also asking questions. If you're making mistakes and you're not sure what the heck you're doing on your financial journey, if you're not sure if you're coming or going, like, there's people there, including myself, that can actually help you out and point you into the right direction, because we don't do anything alone. We don't do anything in life really alone. We don't go to the grocery store alone. We don't play sports alone. We don't really do anything alone, but we take one of the most important pieces of life, personal finances, and we do it alone. And that's crazy to me because I did it too. And I'm just thinking, like, if 21-year-old me could call up the current me right now and say, hey, I really don't know what to do with this. I really don't know what to do in my career right now. I really don't know how much money I should aim to save. I really don't know if I should start investing yet. Is it too risky? Am I ready to invest yet? Like, I wish I would have had current me to rely on for information, because I would be well into the millions right now just based off of having certain information. It wasn't that I didn't have enough money. It wasn't that I didn't have the risk tolerance. It wasn't that I didn't have the intelligence. It was I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't understand that I could have invested a certain amount of money and been way up by now just based off of doing that and making that decision. So that's the crazy thing that I had to come to the realization of, um, even just a few weeks ago. That's why I created the Wealth Journey Collective, because I'm like, look, people can really benefit from this. This is going to be huge one day. And it was an idea that I couldn't get out of my head. And the way that I am, when I get an idea that I can't get out of my head, I absolutely have to keep pushing with it and I have to keep going. Even if it seems like it's not going to work, or even if only a few people are on, I know for a fact this will tremendously help people. Leave some money signs in the chat if all of that made any sense. And if you're new to this live channel or live video rather, make sure you like this video and share it. And also let me know where you're tuning in from, because we have a diverse group today. We got some people from New York, we got North Carolina in the house, we got California. I mean, this is great stuff. I want to know where you're calling in from in the world. But yeah, you don't have to do this thing alone. So if you do want to join Wealth Journey Collective, there is a link up top. Right now and until Christmas, I have a special going on where you will become a founding member and you will get exclusive access to everything. You will have lifetime access to all my Google Sheets and all my Google Docs, in which I sell separately for like $10 to $20 each. But you get lifetime access to all that just for joining and becoming a founding member, because those are going to be basically the foundation to my group. And we have a group chat and we have a wins page, and I have an investing insights page where, I mean, y'all have seen my returns if you watch my wealth journey videos. So like, I don't just show you how I got the returns. I show you exactly what I'm investing in, at what price point I'm investing in it, and then I tell you why I'm investing in those things. And I think that's incredibly valuable from someone who's already in the game, who already is investing. Like, you're not learning from scratch, you're not guessing yourself, you're not making these risks yourself. I'm straight up telling you, look, I'm taking these risks so you don't have to. This is what I'm investing in. I'm not necessarily saying, hey, I'm investing in this, you do the same, but I am saying, if you ever have a question as to how I got a certain return or why I have a certain type of investment, you're going to know exactly why in real time the moment I do it. Because right after I do the investment or put money into that investment, it's going right in the chat where I say, hey, I bought this. So for example, I had a win early this morning and it was a crazy good win. I maxed out my Roth IRA for the first time ever. Got it straight to $7,000 this morning. And I was super happy because I promised myself at the beginning of this year that was something that I was going to do. And that's a proud moment, because at the beginning of the year, you know what I'm saying? Oops, just got a comment on. I got distracted. But anyway, at the beginning of the year, I just got to my first six figures back in February. And then now we're in November. I am at 146,000 and something dollars. And that's as of like the end of October. And so what I'm saying is, it's crazy because just earlier this year, I never would have guessed that it would have grown by that much money. And that wasn't with me heavily investing extra money. That wasn't with me taking money out of my savings account to invest. That was just letting my investments grow while I was just living life and door dashing and, going to places and going to work and working out and things like that. Just living life. Like, time is going to go by anyway. So you might as well have your money into something that's actually growing for you, which is my whole point. But first, we got to get to the adulting, to the getting started. So if you are getting started, you need to do the things, you know what you need to do, but you need to actually take action on saving your first $5,000. And then from there, you can save your first $10,000, $15,000. You save enough to move out, then boom, you're going to be on the right track. Let me know if y'all have any questions so far. I've been rambling for a little bit, for a good 11 minutes straight. So in the comments or in the chat, I see that we got 6 people on right now. I never really have that many people at a time. Maybe people are still strolling in, but I did just kind of just get started here. But let me know in the comments if y'all have any financial questions that I can assist you with. Let me know where you're calling in from, and make sure you keep liking this video and sharing this video. Don't forget to like it now. I see y'all in here now. Y'all ain't hiding from nobody. Go ahead and like this video, share this video, tell a friend about it, because we're going to chop it up tonight. We're just talking about getting started and building your wealth and building that financial stability, because the whole purpose of financial stability is getting to a place where you're not living paycheck to paycheck. Some people have only ever lived paycheck to paycheck and they're working out of it. And some people have never experienced living paycheck to paycheck. But one thing is in common between both of them. Inflation is a thing. Inflation is very aggressive, and inflation can be the very reason why you go from not living paycheck to paycheck to living paycheck to paycheck. So the most important thing is that you are a good steward of the money that you currently have. So whether you're making 80,000 a year, 60,000 a year, 50,000 a year, 100,000 a year, if you're not good with that money, it's never going to matter how much money you make. Does that make sense? It's never going to matter how much money you get paid. It doesn't matter how much you bang on the table and demand a raise or a promotion if you cannot handle the money that you have right now. Does that make sense? Because if you can't invest and save that money now, what makes you think you're going to be able to save and invest that money then when you're upgrading your lifestyle expenses to match your new salary? Because that's what most people do. And that's what keeps you in the adulting stage. And that's what keeps you in the getting started stages. You're not improving in that way. And I'm not talking about any of you in particular. I'm talking about people in general, because that's what people do. So let me know in the comments if y'all got any questions for me real quick. I need to scroll down anyway and see what's going on. Have any of y'all hit your $100,000 in net worth yet? I'm just curious. I just want a yes or no, because another part of Wealth Journey Collective is we help people get to their first $100,000 in net worth. And no, it's not like a overnight thing, but when you have that level of guidance and you have people uplifting each other and you have like a constant state of positive vibes, you tend to hit goals a lot faster. Excuse me, y'all. You hit goals a lot faster when you're in a collective group, like even like this, right? We're on a live call right now. All of y'all are able to interact on the chat. All of y'all are able to watch and hear what I'm saying and everything. This is an example of a very small yet collective group of people who can actually take it to the next level by asking certain questions that other people might also have. You can ask questions, you can make statements, you can talk about your wins. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of things you can do. Hey Reggie, love your content. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Where are you calling in from? Asuka. I think that's how I say your name. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. I genuinely am trying to pronounce things correctly on the first try. Chris says you don't include 401k with the 100k. I'm not there yet. LOL. You don't include 401k with the, well, actually, Chris, I do. Like in my net worth, I include my 401k, I include my Roth IRA, I include my individual brokerage account, and I include my cash. So I include my checking, my savings, and my emergency fund. So I wrap all that in there personally, just because that is, in fact, the representation of your net worth. So most definitely I do. Um, but your 401k is one of the easiest ways to get there because you're already investing in it anyway. And so if you increase your contribution or if you get a raise or promotion, like more money is going to go in there anyway if you're already stuck to, contributing a certain percentage. So that's one of the easiest ways to actually get there. Watching from Toronto, that's what's up. Got Canada in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let me know if y'all have any questions. Are y'all curious about anything, or are there any topics in particular that you would like me to talk about? Obviously, the call is about financial stability, but if y'all have something else that while y'all are on here that y'all want me to talk about, the house is yours. And I can pretty much talk all day about most personal finance topics. So let me know what y'all in particular need help with or want to know more about, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it on here. And just so y'all know, I do consultations. I wrote the book called The Wealth Journey, so I'm an author. For those of y'all who really aren't familiar with this channel, I've been the owner of this channel since 2019, February 2019 to be exact. So there's a lot that comes with this brand and the wealth journey, and I want to share as much knowledge with you as possible because I hated the fact that I had to go through things by myself when I was 21 years old, just trying to figure it out, and was just out here trying to make it. And I had it seemed like the world against me. But now that I have the knowledge, I want to help as many people as possible that are in the same boat that I was in. Saving techniques. Chris, you want to learn about savings techniques? Asuka, what were your biggest lessons that you learned in regards to financial stability? Ooh, okay, so these are dope questions. Y'all keep leaving questions in the comments and keep liking and sharing this video because they're about to get me started up in here. All right, so I'll address in order. So Chris, you said saving techniques. The biggest one, Chris, is looking at the money that you make every month and then committing to a particular number that you can commit to. So not too high, not too low, something in the middle that you're comfortable with, and setting your bank account to automate that saving. Because when I was starting to save my money, I was trying to remember all the time, oh, save here, save there. You just got paid, save $20. But the thing is, like, you'll forget, or something you want will pop up, something very attractive like a concert or a football game will pop up, and you'll just, next thing you know, you're out the money that you were going to save. So I would just say having it automated so your bank account remembers for you and you don't have to worry about remembering for it, Chris. So I hope that makes sense. That's my biggest technique for savings as far as advice goes. But also, I think we spoke earlier, Chris, about my smart money calculator. That calculator is a beast, man. Like, even though it's super simple, when you really take a look at it, it breaks it down from a yearly view. So if you're able to, even if you don't get the smart money calculator, if you're able to break your money down from a yearly view, you know exactly how much money you take home after taxes, and you know exactly how much money you spend per year on rent, on utilities, on your cell phone, on your groceries, on your entertainment, on everything. You're going to know exactly how much money per year you have left over to yourself. And a lot of you, if you were to go through the exercise of running your money through the smart money calculator, which you can do inside of Wealth Journey Collective, by the way, because you definitely don't have to do it by yourself. But if you did that, you would be surprised at how much money you overspend. So, yeah. Um, Chris, you just asked another question. I'll address that here in a second. I want to talk about Asuka's question real quick. What were your biggest lessons that you learned in regards to financial stability? The biggest lesson that I learned about financial stability is that I'm the giant that stands in my own way. I used to think that, it was life is unfair, inflation is taking over. I was told to get a good job, get a good degree, and this, that, and the third, and get a good salary, save your way to wealth. And I was kind of borderline victimizing myself, but the biggest enemy in my way was myself. And I say that because the way that you become wealthy is by owning things, by having equity, owning assets that continue to grow in value. And in my case, it's the stock market. In some people's cases, it's business or real estate. In my case, the place where I shine the most has and always has been the stock market. And so if I'm not financially stable, I'm unable to put money into said assets to continuously let my net worth grow. And now that I'm in a place where I'm actively tracking my net worth and I can see the numbers move, I'm way more on top of it and I'm way more adamant about investing because I understand the true impact. Your net worth, for example, not your net worth, my net worth grew over $40,000 within, like, what? I can't do math right now. Within 7 months. So within 7, 8 months or so. And some people don't make that per year. So when you let that sink in, when your net worth grows by more than what some people make per year, that really shows you the power of what you can do when you invest your money. So to answer your question, that's my biggest lesson. Like, I don't have a ton of lessons about financial stability, but I have that one big lesson that has had the biggest impact. And if, I was able to sit down with my 21-year-old self right now, I would sit them down and let them know, hey man, when you hit 23, 24 years old, really tighten up and really lock in. Because I think when I was 21 and 22, I did a pretty good job. My work ethic was through the roof and insane. But when I got, 23, 24, I started to dial back and get a little comfortable. So that's the answer to your question, Asuka. And then how does the smart money calculator work? The smart money calculator is automated. So what you do is you enter in your yearly salary after taxes. And then what that does is it breaks it down for you how much you make per month. Of course, you can do the math yourself, but the calculator is meant for convenience. So I want it to be as convenient as possible for everybody and as user friendly for everybody. So once that happens, you type all your bills in, your monthly bills, so your rent, utilities, etc. And there's a there's a constant expenses section and an inconsistent expenses section, where the constant ones are things that aren't going to change. Your rent is not going to change throughout the year. It might change next year, but this year it's going to be the same. Utilities, relatively the same. So all the things that you expect to be the same, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, those are not going to really change. And then the inconsistent bills are going to be things like restaurant, entertainment, groceries, etc. Once you put all those in, the calculator actually calculates everything per year. It just multiplies them by 12, and then it takes it off to the right side of the calculator. The right side of the calculator is where it's going to break everything down for you. So it's going to show you how much money you spend per year with everything. And some of y'all are going to be shocked when you do it. You'll be like, man, I'm spending like 80% of my salary on just basics. And it's because we're not careful and we're not really dialing in on how we manage our finances. But then at the bottom, the monthly portion of it, what it does is it shows you how much you have left over to yourself per month and how much you're going to be able to save per month and things like that. So hopefully that answers your question. It breaks it down and makes it real life to you what numbers you're really working with beyond what you normally see. Because when you're too close to the work, so to speak, and you're too busy, just living life, paying bills, saving money, you don't really see the missed opportunities. But this calculator is designed for you to take a big step back and zoom out and really see what you're working with. Asuka, how do you deal with FOMO, envy, and feeling like you're not living your best life? It seems like everyone is on vacation, having 300K weddings, buying designer, etc. Make sure that I read the whole comment. Yeah. So Asuka, that's a very, very good point. The way I deal with that is I really don't care what people think. But when it comes to me, if somebody has something that I want, I don't have like any hatred or ill will or anything like that. Like, I'm not a hater, is essentially what I'm saying. So if somebody has something that I want, first of all, I don't know how they got it. I don't know if they used their credit card to get it. I don't know if they flat out own it or not. So like, I'm definitely not comparing myself to them. But I'm like, man, that's goals. I really want that house. I really want that type of car one day. So I'm going to work for it to get it. And I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm just going to work hard enough because I believe, there are no limitations on me whatsoever. So anything I want, I can get it. I just have to figure out how to get it. So that's how I overcome the envy part. As far as FOMO, I don't really feel it anymore. I used to a lot when I first started investing. But the thing is, investing is not meant for us to hit home runs consecutively. Every now and then you're going to hit a home run, but like, investing was not meant for us to hit home runs. It was meant for us to put money into strong assets over a prolonged amount of time and let them grow and let them continue to grow and compound on top of each other. And that is how you build wealth. And over the course of that time, that whole thing is a home run. So I don't really have FOMO. Excuse me about that. As far as living your best life, I don't know. For me, I'm a pretty simple guy. Like, I like to relax. Like, I work hard. I just like to relax. I like to have a good meal, and I like to spend time with people I care about. But as far as living my best life, going on trips, like, I'm really not into all that. I really don't like traveling like that, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not a big fan of getting on planes and things of that nature. Maybe that'll change, but everybody's different. And as far as weddings, the thing is, yeah, they're spending 300K on weddings, but how long are those weddings, or how long are those marriages lasting? You get what I'm saying? I would rather spend more money on the marriage itself than on the wedding, because the wedding is all showy and showing off there. Look, I'm not getting married for everybody else. I'm getting married for me. You know what I'm saying? So forget about everybody else. I'm not saying they're not important, but I'm not about to go 300K under for them. That you're out of your mind if you think I'm going 300K under for anybody. That is out of control. That's a house. I ain't doing it. So, and then for the marriage not to last, that is crazy work. No, 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 absolutely not. I would much rather have a reasonable wedding. And me and my girlfriend actually talked about this. 10K or slightly under, I think will be just fine for a wedding. You can have an extravagant wedding, you know what I'm saying, if you know what you're doing and know how to make a dollar stretch. And it won't be no bootleg wedding either. It'll be a fine wedding. So 300K, all the bells and whistles, to me, that's just if they want to do it, I'm not judging them. But for me, that's not for me. I'd rather put more money into the efforts of making sure the marriage actually lasts a lifetime like they're supposed to, because they just don't anymore. I know I gave you a lot of information there, Asuka. So I appreciate you for being patient with me, but that is the answer to your question. So Chris also asked, with the stock market, do you spend it or strictly investing waiting to spend? With the stock market, do you spend it or strictly invest? I'm not sure if I fully follow your question, Chris. So I'm going to try to interpret it, and you let me know in the comments if I'm correct. So what it sounds like you're asking is, do I cash out my investments once they gain value, or do I just wait and hold them and let them continue to grow? Is that what you're asking, Chris? If you just dropped on, feel free to like the video, share the video. We're having a very nice talk right now. I'm talking to Chris about stocks, and I'm also answering any questions y'all may have in the comments. Chris said, basically, do you use it for a savings account? No, I do not. I use a savings account purely for liquidity purposes. So, for example, I have a savings account and an emergency fund. So both of those are used purely for liquidity purposes. I don't plan on touching those either. But if I ever need to, they're completely liquid. I don't have to worry about anything. My stock market, though, I don't use it as a savings account per se, but I do use it as a hedge because it's a hedge towards inflation. So inflation will stay as an average of 8%, 6% per year. I don't know. It changes every freaking year. It's a lot. My stock market portfolio is growing like at a 28 to 30% per year. So that's greatly outpacing inflation. Don't know if it'll always be like that, but that's the purpose of the stock market, so that when you do retire, um, for one, you have legacy money to leave over for your family, but you also have money that you can take off the top without interrupting the principal and literally just having a paycheck for the rest of your life. You have constant cash flow essentially due to the massive growth of the assets. So no, I don't use it as a bank account. I use it as a hedge and as, a legacy builder, if that makes sense, Chris. Asuka said, thank you. I thought I was going crazy when I heard of these expensive weddings. I think people are trying to hit their adult milestones quickly by using their money buying house, wedding. Yeah, they are. They are. And, everybody is brought up differently with different expectations, and they have different warped interpretations of life, which is why I created the Wealth Journey Collective, because even though we were all taught a certain way, at some point in adulthood, when you're in your adulting stage, eventually you'll learn that everything you've ever been taught in some way or form is a lie. So, not everything, obviously, but some aspects of your life, some limiting beliefs that you have about things like money, for example. Like, for example, money doesn't grow on trees. Okay, well, the government literally prints money. Try again. Like, the money grows somewhere. They can hit a button and make money disappear out of thin air. You get what I'm saying? So there's some things that we've been taught that just aren't true. But unfortunately, some of us have such strong beliefs that we act on those beliefs all the time throughout adulthood, and then we make bad decisions. We get into credit card debt. We, you know what I'm saying, lease out a car, and we end up owing more money on depreciating assets than we're putting into appreciating assets because we're too afraid that they're going to be risky. That is the craziest part about adulthood. We're doing things backwards and we don't realize it. So you're not going crazy, and life is full of unrealistic expectations because we have all these Instagram people showing their lifestyles, and I don't know those people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's really how they live or if they just did it for the content. Like, I don't know. And some of them might really be rich and some of them might just be faking, but it's not up to us to be comparing ourselves to others. Now, if they want something that is goals for you, go for it. But it's not about saying, gosh, I feel like I'm so behind because this person is my age and they have all this. You don't know what they have. You don't know what means you don't know what they did to get there, right? You don't know if it truly is theirs. You just know them from a few seconds and a glimpse on a screen on a reel. You don't really know them for real. There's people in life that that you talk to every single day that you really don't even know what their lifestyle is like. So how are you going to know somebody's lifestyle on Instagram or on any type of social media? You don't. Like, for example, if you were to look at my videos where I'm giving general advice and, I have a borderline holier than thou attitude, like saying, don't be doing this, you're messing up. Like, you don't know my lifestyle until I started showing you my wealth journey videos where I told you, actually, I'm a human and I make mistakes too. I show my net worth. I show where I could have invested certain amounts of money. And, if I didn't show that side, like, y'all would never really know about it. So it's all relative in that way. So Asuka, that was a very good comment. I appreciate you bringing that up. I just wanted to piggyback off that point. Chris says, how does a beginner learn how to invest a little in the stock market? I have a Robinhood. Any stocks you recommend for a beginner? Okay, so check this out, Chris. Great question. Recommend is a strong word. So for everybody who's watching, I'm not giving out any financial advice. But as far as recommend, I would just say we already know what companies are the best companies in the world. So chances are all of y'all have iPhones or you have an Android. Guess who owns Android? Google. You get what I'm saying? Like, Google's a hot company, Microsoft's a hot company, Apple's a hot company. You don't need to collect all the companies. They're not Pokemon. So like, my biggest advice for a beginner, and we spoke a little earlier, Chris, about beginner stuff, but another piece of advice that layers onto that is the simple fact that you don't need to own a world of investments. I would say beginners need to start with ETFs, which are baskets of stocks, and look at what the top companies are within those baskets. And I'm not saying to invest in those, but I'm saying to look at them and look at which ones you like the most and figure out why you like them the most. Do you like them because they have a dividend? Do you like them because they have bigger growth? Do you like them because you just like Google, because you just like Microsoft? Why do you like them? And then put them on your watch list. And from your watch list, just watch how they grow. And you can really see in real time, man, if I would have invested at this price, it would have gone up this much. Or if I would have invested yesterday, it would have went down today. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's things that you can do at a beginner level that are not super technical, but they're super effective to do. And of course, the last part would be deciding on what price you would want to get into those investments. I wouldn't recommend investing at the highest of the high, but at the same time, you don't really know when it's going to go down either. So there's that constant dilemma, which is when the advice of dollar cost average sets in. And dollar cost averaging is nothing but buying a stock every single month, regardless of what the price is. And that's what I do because I don't have time to be trying to predict the future and whatnot. I'm buying every month, but I'm only buying certain things every month. And that's where the knowledge and information comes from. But once you get that piece of knowledge, all that's left is discipline and consistency. And that's the discipline is not pulling the money out when you get scared or when you get overly excited that the market is going up. You get what I'm saying? Or scared that the market is going down. So keeping that discipline and keeping that consistency is just putting the money in there every month without fail. Like, I was adamant about putting money into my Roth IRA every single month until it hit 7K. It finally hit 7K today. And that is a blessing, and I'm extremely thankful for it. So hopefully that answers your question, Mr. Chris. You buy cryptos? Yes, I do actually. In my wealth journey videos, I break down my crypto account a little bit. I haven't really gone completely inside of it for you guys, but for the sake of this video, I have a little nano ledger. It's this little device that keeps your crypto safe, basically. But on it, I have some Bitcoin, and I mean like 0.003. I ain't balling out of control now. I don't got like a whole Bitcoin or nothing, but I have like 0.003 Bitcoins. I have some Ethereum. I have some Litecoin, And all of that together is like $654. So that's like a fraction of all of those. I might have one full Litecoin, but yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, yesterday I bought $50 worth of XRP, which is like 32.8 coins or something like that. So, but that's just a little bit of my net worth going into crypto. I'm not heavy into it, and I definitely am not recommending anybody to get into it. I can't give the same kind of direction that I give with stocks. You know what I'm saying, with crypto. Just can't do it because I don't know enough about crypto. I'm just saying, oh, you know what? $50 is going into crypto today, but I'll put 700 into stocks because I know what the heck I'm doing with stocks. But with crypto, I'm like, I'll give them 50 and just see what it does over the next 5 years. So hopefully that answers your question. Um, Single parent fire says, is your girlfriend into personal finance as well? If not, if not, is she on the same page financially with you? She's not as into it as me, no, but hardly. A lot of people are not in personal finances. But as far as, is she financially responsible? Yes, she is. Is she on the same page as me? Yes, she is. And we talk about it all the time. And I actually help her invest and show her the ways of investing as well, because obviously at some point we want to build a life together and a financial future together. So she asks me questions, and she definitely takes my lead when it comes to personal finances and things. So that's a good question, single parent fire. Asuka said, thank you, Reggie. I'm Canadian, but the investing advice is still so important and relevant to me. I've got to head to sleep for work tomorrow. I'll remember to check out your book. All the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Asuka. For those of y'all who drop in, I do have a book. I do have the Wealth Journey Collective group that we work as a collective team to help each other and boost each other up financially, as far as encouragement, advice, and sharing wins and asking each other questions, and just making like a family type of group where there's no judgment or anything like that. There's group chat, there's DMs, there's all kinds of things. It's essentially its own social media platform, but for personal finances, and it's a safe space for you to talk about whatever it is that you want to when it comes to personal finances, how to get out of debt, how to save, how to automate. Like, any level question is welcome there. So I hope to see y'all in there. I have a few members now who are enjoying it, but I'd love to make that family bigger and have more people added to the group and sharing their wins and asking their questions and talk about what they're investing in and things like that. So I hope to see y'all in there. Chris said, who is your favorite personal finance YouTuber or YouTubers that you may like? Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't really watch personal finance YouTubers like that anymore. But I'm gonna start shouting out some smaller creators, because the bigger ones like Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, and them, like, they're cool and all, but like, I feel like they're really mainstream and really general. I like people who really specialize in something. So one that comes to mind is Personal Finance with Layla. She specializes in like getting out of debt, but she also shares like her investments and her transfer Tuesdays and things. So I would say I really like her content because it's more, I guess you could say, down to earth, more relatable. And she also went on an entrepreneurial journey where she actually quit her job and is focused purely on her business, which I think is dope. So in that way, from a relatability standpoint, I would say Personal Finance with Layla. And in terms of like just overall personal finances, like as far as just knowing, what is the word for that? It'll come to me. Overall, all around. That's the word I'm thinking of. As far as all around personal finances, I would say EYL, Earn Your Leisure. They make dope content because they talk about buying houses, they talk about getting into stocks, they talk about, you know what I'm saying, investing for your kids. They have a very general knowledge base, but they get people on the show who specialize on it, which is why I like it, because they can explain things that other people can't in different ways, and they do it in their own little way, which I think is pretty cool. So Chris, hopefully that answers your question. Those are my favorite financial YouTubers, but I used to watch a lot of Graham Stephan, and he actually inspired me to make my YouTube channel about finances, just about different things. I know he does mainly real estate. And Andre Zick, I just really like his cinematography with his videos and how he puts everything together, because he made personal finances more of like a movie than anything. So those are my favorites. And those are who motivated me. Let me know what other questions y'all have in the chat. I see we still got some people in here. I know y'all probably got to go to bed. It ain't that late though. It's only 9:34 on the East Coast. I don't know where you're at in the world. Y'all didn't tell me in the comments. Let me know in the comments where you're calling in from. But yeah, let me know what questions y'all have, and I can keep going with this presentation, honestly. But in order to get wealthy, you have to get past these first two stages, getting started and adulting, because after you get through that, then you'll be in the category that I consider myself to be in, and that's investing wisely. And I still have some things I need to do as far as my personal finance journey, but excuse me, the biggest priority I have right now is maxing out my Roth IRA consistently year over year, because that is going to compound ridiculously by the time I hit retirement age. And that is not done by mistake, that is done intentionally. It is a habit for me to put money into my Roth IRA. And if you're curious what's in my Roth IRA, I have Apple, Microsoft, VOO, and VTI. It's that simple. And I'm not recommending you do this. That's just what I do. I saw an Earn Your Leisure video with Ian Dunlap saying that, and I saw several other videos after that saying to do that. So I was like, you know what? I don't think I should do this for my entire portfolio, because I just don't want to. But I will do that for a portion of my net worth. And what better portion than the one that's not going to be taxed? My Roth IRA. So I was like, let me go ahead and put this in my Roth IRA. So I did. But I did that consistently and made a habit of it. So a lot of this stuff, like Dave Ramsey said, is not really so much of head knowledge. It's really just action. And it's really what you do and what you don't do. So if you don't spend your money on crazy things, if you don't waste your money, right, and you save your money and you put your money into assets that actually grow, that's the habit. And so if you have a habit of putting $200 into investments every month, you're going to win, as long as you don't put it into a stupid investment, which there's a lot of research you can do, which I guide you on how to do in the Wealth Journey Collective and in my wealth building course, which is inside of the Wealth Journey Collective group. But that's what I'm talking about. If y'all want access to those things, click the link up below. It's all the way at the top. It's pinned in white at the top if you're on dark mode on YouTube. But anyway, other questions, it says, so is the wealth group similar to like group coaching or like a Reddit forum where folks post ideas and comment? It's not so much. Well, actually, it's a little bit of both, because I do have monthly live calls, and I might even start doing bi-weekly or something like that. Right now, I'm just trying to get a bigger group together of people, because I want to have everybody benefit from the call at the same time. I do have a few folks in right now and they collaborate and they post, but my monthly calls is where I have similar content to like what I'm doing now, except it's exclusive to that group. Like it will not be shared on YouTube, and I can be even more transparent with them and answer even more of their questions in a more private setting. And if they want to get on a group coaching thing, it's all done through Zoom on my collective group. And on Zoom, you can have big group calls and a lot of people added in there, so we can all interact face to face in that way. So yes, but also it is like a forum in which there's a wealth roundtable where you can ask any question, or if there's like a financial dilemma that you have, or if there's a pressing question that you have, I can answer that question, or somebody who is further along than you in that particular category can answer your question for you. And then there's a wins thing where you talk about, I saved my first, like there was somebody up there that had their first $10,000 in investments, and that's a huge accomplishment, because that $10,000 will turn into 15,000 and 20,000 in no time. You get what I'm saying? There's all kinds of different accomplishments on the group, and I had an accomplishment up there about sorry, hold on, throat's getting dry. But anyway, I have an accomplishment where I talked about maxing out my Roth IRA for the first time. And then my girlfriend was up there. She had a win where she got, you know what I'm saying, a great job opportunity and a nice new start to life in terms of pay and opportunities and things like that. So it's a big collective group. Well, it will be big. I think it's going to be huge, honestly. I think it's going to be very big because there's not too many groups that come together in that way and talk about personal finances. And I want to make it like a popular mainstream thing because right now everybody's on the internet talking about dances and sports and inappropriate mess that frankly we shouldn't be talking about on the internet at all. And personal finance is just like one of the most important things that we can possibly figure out as adults, and we don't even talk about it. And most of us try to walk that road alone, expecting spectacular results, and then blaming the economy, blaming the president, blaming, taxes, blaming inflation, blaming everything. But if we came together as a group and talked about these things, like we're starting to now on my group, I feel like we can have a tremendous impact on the world. And that's what I'm after. It's not even about this being part of the wealth journey brand. It's about putting together something in which we can create our own rules, so to speak. We can create our own rules about personal finances when we talk about certain things. Like people act like it's rude to talk about money or how much you make or how much you owe and what your plan is to pay off what you owe and things like that. It's like, no, we can talk about this in a tight knit group who is actually dedicated to watching each other improve in life. So that's what I want to do. Hopefully that answered your question. Hold on, I just lost my spot. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, single parent fire, because that's what I want to help y'all do. Like if y'all get up there and say, I want to retire early, or I want to retire my mom, or I want to pay off $100,000 in debt, or I want to become a neurosurgeon, but first I need to do this, this, and this. Like, I want a group of people, like dedicated people, to actually jump on there and encourage you and lift you up and ask you questions in which they can actually get the answers from and help you out based on how you answer those questions. I think that would be really cool to have. And I haven't seen it anywhere. I've seen similar things, but I haven't seen anything close to what I envisioned it being. And I feel like it's going to happen and it can happen. And the fact that it doesn't exist right now in 2024, if you really think about it, kind of mind blowing. What other questions y'all got on this fine evening, ladies and gentlemen? Well, while y'all keep typing up questions or thinking of questions, I'm going to keep going because, like I was saying, after you hit adulting, you got to be able to invest wisely. And then after you invest wisely, you have to really start thinking about your net worth accumulation. You need to really start thinking about how you're going to not just continue sustaining how much you've been building in wealth, but how can you increase that? How can you start carrying that over into other investing accounts and other ways of wealth? So maybe you've been into stocks for 10 years now. It's like, okay, I want to keep contributing to stocks, but now I want to build a real estate portfolio on top of that. Or maybe I want to start building cryptocurrency on top of that, like Chris was asking about earlier. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about this, but you need to always continue to learn about assets and things. So AI is a big thing right now. How can I invest in AI? Microsoft is how you invest in AI. NVIDIA is how you invest in AI. AMD, Intel is how you invest in AI. I'm not telling you to invest in those particular companies. I'm telling you those companies are directly tied to AI. Microsoft straight up owns like half of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. Like these are things that I know off the top of my head because I have a habit of reading and learning about investing and learning about companies. And it's honestly an enjoyable pastime to do after a long day of work because it's interesting to me. And my background is in technology. Like I went to school for industrial engineering technology. So I have a natural interest for automation and robots and AI and things like that because we had freaking courses on these things and I had to write papers on these things back in like 2013, 2014. So Yeah. Anyway, I went off on a whole tangent. That's net worth accumulation, right? And then after that, like you need to have a succession plan, and not a business succession plan, but like a family succession plan. Like after you're gone, who will be your successor? You know, who will be your successors? What portion of your wealth do you want which person to have? And how do you want your legacy to continue building after they're gone? You know, you want to think about generation after generation after generation. So the wealth journey is much bigger than just paying your bills, paying off debt, saving money, and investing. Like it, after you hit that point, it gets so much bigger than that. If you have a mind and you're open to the idea of expanding your horizon and becoming better in that way. We don't have to get comfortable at what we were taught growing up as middle class kids. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying that our parents did a bad job or anything like that, but I am saying in this world and in this economy, we have to evolve or we will be left behind. And it's not even in terms of me believing it, it's a straight up fact. Like, if you understood and read and are privy to all the things that are actually going on around us right now, we have to prepare. And what better time to prepare for these things than right now? It's 2024, and there are certain things that don't exist that will exist in abundance. That is something that should wake everybody up in, you know what I'm saying, my humble opinion. What news source is good to read on stock? Honestly, I wouldn't say I have really any preferences, but I'll give you some things that I've been checking out. So there's Yahoo News, um, not Yahoo News, Yahoo Finance, and you can look at stock charts and look at the latest information about that. You can actually look at their balance sheet, um, and also, man, on your Robinhood account or whatever brokerage you use, a lot of those brokerages are educational platforms in which you can actually check out the stock or the company or the balance sheet. Like there's a lot of places on these apps where you can look into in-depth knowledge or in-depth information rather on the companies, and you can look into what corporate giants are also invested into those companies within those apps as well. And Webull, I found, has been the best app for that. I haven't really used Robinhood too much. I used it a little bit back in 2017, but Webull is where I find out so much information, and it's almost like hidden. You have to really dig through the app to figure those things out. But I can find the balance sheet, I can find the earnings per share, I can find quarterly earnings, I can find all kinds of stuff to know exactly where a company is financially. I can find out what the revenue is looking like. I can find their income to debt ratio. I can find how much experts are expecting a stock to get to on their highest level, and how much they expect that it can get to at its lowest level within the next 12 months. I mean, there's so much information out there, and a lot of it is right in front of our faces. We just don't check it out because we're too busy looking for other places to look for them in. So honestly, I don't go on the internet a lot reading about stocks. I find the information that I want to find within the app itself, or there's an app called Finimize. It's like the word finance and minimize had a baby. Finimize, it actually is a news source for a bunch, like a plethora of different stocks. You can even search for gold and other commodities, copper, silver, chocolate. That's a commodity if you didn't know. And then different companies like Hershey or McDonald's or Coca-Cola, Intel, AMD, Nvidia, like they have a lot of information. So if you want to look at some beginner level stuff, it's going to give you some good insight without overcomplicating everything. Yahoo Finance is solid. Um, what is that? Wall Street Journal, solid. Um, yeah, things like that. I would say just stick with a few simple sources and go from there. And then when you look at these articles, find out where they source their information from, go there, and that's going to give you even more information. That's my general advice that I would give you at this time, Mr. Chris. What's chat AI thing. You talking about Chat GPT? Man, Chat GPT is dope. It is essentially, to me, it's almost as valuable as an employee could be for you. So let's say, Chris, excuse me, you had a really busy day ahead of you tomorrow, and you had like 12 things you absolutely had to do, but you didn't know how you were going to structure your day, and you don't want to use the brain power. You'll be like, hey, chat, um, since you have great organizational skills, I want you to act as my day planner for the rest of this week. I have these things that I have to get done by tomorrow, but I need you to put together a whole schedule of what time I'm going to do these things. And just keep in mind, I need to take at least 2 hours worth of breaks in between all this stuff. It will map out your whole day from you. You just let Chat GPT know what time you plan on waking up and what time you plan on going to sleep. It will map the whole day out for you, from your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your breaks, all of that stuff. So Chat GPT is very useful. I actually use it a lot. I don't really use it at work, but I use it a lot outside of work to schedule my YouTube stuff. And I even honestly, I ask it to help me plan out my content and give me ideas, because I can't think of everything myself. So sometimes it does give out some pretty crap ideas, but other times it puts out amazing ideas. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can work with this. And also, I'm not very good at coming up with names for things, like creative names. So it'll actually create names for me that are actually creative, which I think is pretty cool, because I'm not the most creative person. ChatGPT is very creative. I will give it that. What else y'all got? We're an hour in. I have pretty much went through my presentation, but I want to hear from y'all now. I want to know what questions y'all have. I want to know what feedback y'all have about this live show so far. I want y'all to drop some fire in the comments if y'all enjoyed what y'all were seeing so far, and I want y'all to continue to like and share this video, because this has been a dope live so far. I'm having a lot of fun right now, actually, and I feel way more comfortable than I did earlier, even though there was only like maybe 6 people on earlier, and everybody was like at work and on lunch and things. It was very nerve-wracking, but this right here just feels pretty natural. I feel like I'm just chilling with you guys right now. So what else y'all got? Y'all don't got nothing? Well, y'all know, if y'all don't got nothing, I still got more, right? So I want to thank y'all for watching, though. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank y'all for supporting me on my first time really ever going live. I'm really not used to this type of thing at all, but I think it's important for my channel that I talk to you guys in real time like this, so y'all know I'm not just like always reading notes. Like, I actually know what I'm talking about. Like, off the top of my head, I know these things that I'm discussing, and y'all need to get to know me more as like a real person, as opposed to somebody who just is like on a recorder and y'all just watch me every now and then. Single parent fire says, you ever think about starting a Peterson or YouTube memberships? I haven't thought about it. I mean, I'm pretty open to it. I've never considered it or thought about it, to be honest with you. I'm not even really sure what that stuff entails, but I suppose after this live, I should look into those things and really see what they're about, because that's actually a good point. I did do at one time, I was doing a Patreon, and I was posting videos up there regularly, but then I just decided to kind of discontinue it. I really don't do that anymore. So I more so replaced a lot of the things that I was doing outside of YouTube. Oh, Patreon. Yes, I did do a Patreon, but I'm mainly focusing all my energy right now on this YouTube channel, on the business side of YouTube, on the business side of my Wealth Journey brand, in which I sell my books and my products, my smart money calculator, my 100K action plan, and things that actually genuinely help you build your first $100,000, as opposed to just general feel good advice or motivation. Like, I'm genuinely building tools that are going to change the trajectory of how quickly you build your first $100,000. And on top of that, the biggest thing I'm spending my energy on right now, and this was kind of like a wild hair idea that just never lost its thunder, is the Wealth Journey Collective. I'm super excited about that group, and I'm really happy to engage with all the people that are there with me on the group, because it really does feel like it's a private and like secure society of people who really care about each other and really care about financial success. And so you can have conversations up there that you can't even have, you know what I'm saying, with certain people that you're close with. It's not that they're bad people or that they don't care at all, but it's that they don't have the same desire as you for personal finances and improving and things like that. So yeah, that's where I'm spending most of my energy at right now, is the Wealth Journey Collective. And I think that group is going to 100%, I mean, 100% change the world. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Is your ultimate goal to grow your YouTube business and go full time doing it like Layla? Um, I would say similar to Layla, not like Layla. Uh, and I'll say it like this. I'll say I would love to hit certain numbers like she's doing, because she's hitting some crazy numbers right now. But I wouldn't want to quit my job because I genuinely really, really like my job. I want to have, I guess I could say, the cash flow to have a full-time income with my business, but while keeping my full-time job, because I found a way to run this business without being super busy and working like so many hours a week and still having time to have a work-life balance and everything. I found a way to balance all that stuff. So I would want to match that level of income in conjunction with my work income, invest like crazy. And I do want to retire early though, don't get me wrong, but I would want to keep working my job, invest heavily. And what's going to get me into early retirement is the investing heavily, but it's only because I particularly know what to invest in, how to invest in it, what prices to get in, and all that stuff. Like I calculate all of that stuff and do these things to set myself up for success. The thing is, I don't want to be the only one enjoying the success. I want every one of you to enjoy the success as well with me. In that way, I am very selfless. Now, when it comes to food, I'm selfish. Y'all ain't getting none of my food. When it comes to my knowledge and how to invest and how to get money, I want to share that with the world, because there are too many people who could benefit from this advice. And it's not like the economy is going to crash from following my advice, because not a lot of people are going to take a ton of action on it. That's why my mission is to help 250,000 people build their first six figures in net worth. If that can happen, everybody's, well, not everybody, but all 250,000 of those people's lives would be changed, because your net worth starts to grow very aggressively after you hit your first 100K. And I can't wait till I hit my first 200K and 300K. Like I feel like each time I hit a new 100K milestone, each one that follows is going to be shorter and shorter. And next thing you know, your boy is going to be at 1 million. And I don't want to become one of those unrelatable channels that's like, well, how did you get there? You never showed us the journey. No, I'm showing you the journey from scratch. I showed you this journey before I hit six figures. I don't want to hear none of that. But, you know, it's not going to be a mystery of how I got there. I'm showing you step by step how I'm doing this. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent again. Single parent fire. That was a fantastic question. No, I don't want to quit my job, at least not right now. I want to keep building, and I really like my job and I like what I'm doing there. So I want to continue doing that and build extra income on top of that, invest the extra income heavily, um, and continue building my lifestyle and life outside of work. And yeah, get to my other goals there. What other questions I got? These are some fantastic questions. These are questions I wasn't expecting to get, to be honest. To be honest with you, what else y'all got? Mm, 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 mm. Well, let me ask y'all this: do y'all have any recent milestones that y'all just hit, and do you have any financial pain points right now that you would like help with? I'm looking at my phone for those of y'all who were like, what is he looking at? Just looking down at my phone. Got some notifications. Y'all are very talkative tonight. No, I'm just playing. Chris, single parent, fire, Asuka, y'all have been very, very good in this chat. I appreciate the interaction, and anybody else who wants to interact. If you don't want to interact, I understand. That's cool. Everybody's not always going to interact, but I do just want to let y'all know that I appreciate y'all for jumping on here and asking some questions. What's the website to the S&P 500? Do you mean like, oh, to make the account? I mean, it just depends on what brokerage you want to get with. So for me, I use an array of different brokerages. So I use Fidelity, I use Vanguard, I use Webull, M1 Finance. Like I use a lot of different brokerages. You just got to figure out which one you want. So you can download the app actually on your phone, or you could even you said you have a Robinhood, so you can actually buy an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 on Robinhood. That's perfectly fine too. Let me know if that made sense, Chris, or if you were asking a different question. Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Chris. Hey, man, keep asking the questions. Keep the questions coming. I know we got a session coming up, but like the stock market is a pretty vast thing. So we're not going to go over every single thing, even in that time. Like, even if we try, there's just so much to cover. So you can feel free to ask questions now. Y'all, this is the time right now to ask me questions. You're not getting charged for it or nothing. Of course, you can ask me more questions in the Wealth Journey Collective. I'm not moving off that point. Y'all can ask me as many questions y'all want to in the Wealth Journey Collective. I want people to join that, man, because I think that is going to be huge. I know that is going to be huge. Keep the questions coming, Chris, if you got more questions, or if you don't, just let me know. But I'm pretty much right now just sticking around just to see if anybody else has questions. My material is pretty much over with. Great question, Chris. So check this out. You know about the S&P 500, right? You know about, or you might have heard about the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So what those are indexes. And so when I talk about ETFs, the S&P 500 ETF is an ETF, an exchange traded fund that actually tracks the S&P 500. That's what that is. And so the S&P 500 itself is, a measurement of the stock market in which it looks at the top 500 large cap companies. So something that tracks that is going to be something like VOO, which is Vanguard's version of the S&P 500. It tracks the S&P 500, or SPY. So those are going to be two examples of the S&P 500. What are some ETFs on Robinhood? Man, you can find a lot of them you can find DIA on Robinhood, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF. There is VOO, there is SPY. There's a lot of them, and not all of the ETFs are going to track indexes per se. Some of them are just going to track certain industries. So, for example, if you want to track technology, VGT, you get what I'm saying. There's so much. If you want to track consumer staples, XLP. Like there's a lot of ETFs that track a lot of things. It doesn't just have to be indexes, but it's basically a basket of stocks. And the way that you know that they're a basket of stocks is you go to this website called ETFDB. There's more. It's also nicknamed Vetify.com, but ETFDB.com. You type in an ETF and you click holdings, it straight up shows you the top 15 holdings that are inside of it. And it might have a total of like 500 holdings in there, but it's showing you the top players. And those are the ones you want to focus on, because if you don't know what to invest in, that's going to give you a pretty good indication of what you need to be looking at. You got any more questions about ETFs, Chris? Because ETFs, that's actually, for those of y'all who don't know, for those of y'all who are interested in this type of topic, if you don't know what to invest in, you don't know how to invest, ETFs are your segue into the stock market. They're secure, more so than stocks, and they have stock-like returns, except they're just not as aggressive. But the downside to them is not as much. So when they start to dip, they don't have as aggressive dips as stocks do. So if you look at something like Tesla, which is a very like volatile stock, it's a good stock if you got into it at a great price, but it's very volatile and very violent moving. But if you get into an ETF that has Tesla in it, you still get exposure to Tesla without the tremendous downside if it dips or if Elon says something crazy. So, yeah, essentially in a nutshell, that's what ETFs are. They're something that are more padded. You get exposure to a plethora of stocks, and you get decent returns, like 10%, 11%, 20% even. But you just don't see gigantic drops. Like you can stomach the loss from those a lot more than you could a stock. I appreciate y'all liking the video. I appreciate y'all sharing the video. You know what I'm saying? One of these days, I'm gonna get on live and there's gonna be thousands of y'all up here watching in real time, which will be crazy and surreal to experience. But right now, I'm thankful for those of y'all who are able to jump on here with me and have a discussion about just getting started. Because I know Chris and I right now are talking about investing. Some of y'all might feel like you're not there yet, but the thing is, you have to start somewhere. So get started, do your adulting stage, and then figure out how much money you can commit to invest, which means this is money that you can afford to lose, and put it into something that is going to change your life and grow your money. And the reason I say you can afford to lose it is because you don't plan on touching this money. You plan on putting this money into something that is going to grow for a prolonged amount of time, for generations. If we don't have the discipline to do that, we don't have the discipline to say that we don't have, if we don't have the discipline to do that, we don't have the discipline to do the things that we say that we want in the future. Savannah, what is up? Where are you calling in from? You said trying to hit 9K in my acorns by the end of the year, $200 away. That's awesome. That's very awesome. Congratulations, Savannah. I hope you hit that goal and beyond, and you'll definitely hit that goal. $200 away is not far away at all. I think you're going to hit that probably by the end of the month. Chris says, great. That's a nice start for me. Cool. I'm glad I could help you get started with that. Let me know where y'all called in from if y'all just joined in the call. But yeah, what I was saying was some people feel like they're not there yet. They can't invest yet. Look, I started with like $100. I was talking to my uncle tonight because like a year and some change ago, I helped him with an investment portfolio. I'm trying to say this professionally and not say anything that would put anybody's business out there, but basically I helped him put together a portfolio that would have tremendous upside. I mean, I invested for him in this portfolio like I would do for myself if he were to put the money in said portfolio. But he ended up not doing it because he was afraid of the risk. And that's what a lot of us are afraid of, is the risk, or we feel like we're not there yet. He had the money, he just didn't have the risk tolerance. And it's either we have one or the other typically. For me, when I was first getting started, like I had the money, but I was scared, just like he was. So it's like I'm not even judging them. I'm just telling y'all the thing that's holding us back is ourselves. Either we have the risk tolerance but not the money, or we think we don't have the money, or you know what I'm saying, we have the money but not the risk tolerance. So the thing is, we need to mesh that together somehow. If you feel like you don't have the money, well, how much money can you invest? Can you do $10, $15, 20? If you can do that, you can invest. You don't have to buy a full share. You can start getting fractional shares and just keep building up from there. I got way off on a tangent just now. What else y'all got? Any milestones, any questions, any comments, any concerns, anything you wish that I covered in this particular live? Is there anything that you want me to go over in a future live? Because I'm about to sign off if y'all don't have too many more questions, because your boy has to go to bed. I have a flight tomorrow, and I will be going back to Nevada. So let me know what y'all got if y'all have anything. If not, that's cool too. I ain't mad at it. I'm glad that I got the engagement and the camaraderie and the interaction with you guys. It's crazy to see y'all coming in from New York, Canada, you know what I'm saying, California, North Carolina. We got people from all over the world in here, and that's a really cool thing to see. I'm in North Carolina myself right now. I'll be in Nevada tomorrow though. Nothing else? All right, y'all. Well, if y'all got anything else, I'm gonna just stick around just for a few minutes just to make sure, because some of y'all might be typing right now. But if y'all don't have anything else, I'm gonna just say this one more time. If you're interested in the Wealth Journey Collective, click the link at the top of the video. It's at the top of the chat. It's pinned, and it gives you links to all the information. It gives you links to my website and everything. I want y'all to have access to this great opportunity. You can become a founding member if you sign up before Christmas, and you will have a very, very, very low price point, because the price will 100% go up, because this has a very high value proposition. But if you want to become a member now, between now and Christmas, this was a Black Friday sale turned into a Christmas sale, but you can become a founding member and get access to exclusive portions of the group that other people will not get if you sign up for it before Christmas. So just wanted to kind of put that bug in your ear and let y'all know what the group is about and what is possible through such a group. And right now I'm working with the people on the group, and we're just going to continue to make the group stronger and better, and um, add more value to as many people as possible. The mission is to get 250,000 people up to their first $100,000 in net worth, and it starts with a few people, and that's what this live is about. And hopefully this added value to you, and I'm very appreciative of all of you. So thank you for joining me today. If you want access to those, click the link at the top. And if you end up watching this video later as like a regular video, because this is recorded on YouTube as well, make sure you click the link in the description and just check out the links and see what you think about them. It's not mandatory. Y'all don't have to do anything y'all don't want to do, but I would encourage you to think very open-mindedly about the idea of becoming part of a group that is bigger than just you, and you also get to share a piece with everybody and show everybody what you're capable of and what you're winning at. And you know, we can all be vulnerable together. We can all win together. We can all collectively as a group come up with solutions instead of victimizing ourselves and trying to figure things out for ourselves and then wonder why life is so hard. So anyway, appreciate you guys. I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you guys for joining me this evening.